Covidians, hello. Another day, another dollar. This is a very specific video. I've had two goes at making it, and the first go was interrupted by a phone call from my dearest wife, who, I genuinely thank God, is out and about with her friends and is going to go somewhere today. Okay, they got a little outing planned. I think there's about three of them going down. Three of the ladies. Three of the ladies having a ladies' day out, and I hope they all have a great day. I hope they'll fire off each other like neurons. I hope they all kind of stimulate each other and they just have a great day. That's lovely. Okay? Right. Now, there's a bit more to this video than just telling you what my wife is doing this morning. This is a video that I kind of want anybody who has any relationship with, or who is, or who treats, or who deals with people with mental illness. I want to make this video for you, and it's a video where I'm going to be asking questions, and it's got a comment section, and I really would encourage you, please share your experiences of mental health services where you are, because I'm just going to share a little bit of the last few days of our story, if you like, dealing with mental health issues, my wife's mental health issues. I have to give you a little bit of background, but I promise I'm not going to just go on and on and on. I'll make the background as quick as I can. My dear wife has been mentally ill for 30 plus years. What's her diagnosis? Easy. Pretty much borderline personality disorder and bipolar disorder. Does she take the meds? Yeah, she does. But I need just a little bit of background, a bit of explanation here, in case someone watching this doesn't understand much about bipolar. Bipolar is simply what it says. It used to be called manic depression. Most of us, at some point in our lives, yeah, we know, don't we? I mean, our moods do go up and down. It's natural. Perfectly natural. I don't know about. I'm being treated for depression, sure, but I mean, I woke up this morning and I don't know if it's just everything that's been happening recently, but you know, it was a bit dark outside. Blinds were pulled. I woke up and I thought, oh, yeah, we all do. Happens, doesn't it? It just happens. We're all like that as human beings. Yeah. But in bipolar, the extremes in moods can either be manically happy, just like over the moon. My wife's words were, you know, like you feel like you could cure cancer. You feel like you want to open a brand new hospital wing. You feel like you want to train as a doctor and cure all the illness in the world. Yeah. There's, you know, you feel that, and this energy's like, and it's like buzzing away inside you. It's like when you cycle there, when you're cycling on Peloton or whatever, and you're whizzing along in your spin class, and you feel superb. All the endorphins going ding, 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 ding. Yeah. And then guess what? Well, you got it. After a while, the body just can't keep it up. Your nervous system can't keep it up. Wham! Straight back down. Crashing low. Crashing. Suicidal low. Yeah. Oh, and by the way, if you can see them, there are stories behind these marks on my arms. Okay? I have not been suicidally low and cutting myself. No, I haven't. Let me tell you how those marks came about. They came about because when I got up with my wife yesterday morning, after this massive mental health crisis that she is still going through, and the response from our mental health services is awful. It's absolutely awful. Let me put it this way. The response, and I'm not naming names because complaints are going in, Okay, so I'm not going to name any names. I'm not even going to name hospitals. Yeah, but the response from our mental health service a long while ago, I had a heart attack that nearly killed me. Yeah, it was a crisis. If I wasn't taken into A&E and got the old jump leads on and whatever, I've since had heart bypass surgery. That crisis would have meant that I would no longer be here. I wouldn't have had a chance to marry my second wife. I wouldn't be here. The crisis would have killed me. Yeah. Now, obviously, the NHS and the ambulance staff responded as they did. Obviously, yeah, they will. They want to. They have no choice. But can you imagine having the equivalent of a mental heart attack? Yeah, firing all those neurons. In fact, that manic phase, she was at the top part of the seesaw, and it went on for so long. And she was doing everything at 100 miles an hour. And she was talking really fast. And her thoughts were jumbling. And every time we got to the end of a sentence, she'd finish my sentence for me. And then she'd go, Tony, Tony, Tony. Yeah. And I'd try and talk, and she'd try and talk. And it would go like this. Yeah. Because she was going so fast. Yeah. And why was that happening? Well, because her medication had been jigged around with. Because she was in a phase of medication change. Because she was discharged from local mental health services in 2017 and told that when she has a crisis, she could call the crisis line or she could call the Samaritans. Let me tell you about the crisis line. And let me tell you that, as my son said to me earlier today, Dad, I work in the NHS. I'm an ICU nurse. I know you love the NHS. I know you're grateful to the NHS. I know you love us, you care for us, you want us not to be privatised. I know that, yeah? But it's like loving anybody else. Just because you love them, it doesn't mean that you can't be critical of them. I'm critical, absolutely, of their crisis line and the person who dealt with us when we finally got to a hospital. No more information than that. We finally got to a hospital. Yeah. Before I detail those criticisms, I've only got about 5 minutes left, okay? Before I do that, though, I want to say some important things. This has to be preceded with an incredible positive statement. Massive thanks. I mean massive thanks to the people on NHS 111. You did a fantastic job. I mean, you're doing this job and we're talking with this phone on speaker, and that's how you're doing it. You can't even see my wife. You can't even see myself. And you're doing this job on a phone. Yeah? Josh, I remember your name. You were brilliant. Josh, if you're sitting in a call centre somewhere and you're watching this, Josh, keep up the good work, mate. Keep it up. Keep up the good work. You were brilliant. Josh, in your own way, you were a lifesaver. One more, because I'm running out of time, right? Vicky, or whoever you were, the doctor we spoke to. You're a lifesaver, Vicky. I mean it. I mean it. Yeah, you're a lifesaver. Yeah, you were brilliant. You were amazing. If that was me having a heart attack, it was like you could have been physically treating that heart attack, but you were like as soon as the dog could see the rabbit or something, as soon as, Vicky could identify this heart attack in the head, Vicky was on it. Yeah? You only spoke on this, Vicky. You were on the heart attack on the head, and you were on the heart attack in the head by phone. got to get to the end soon, right? So again, really brief, okay? Ambulance personnel, I forget your names. There's a lady and a man. Brilliant. Superb. You left your ambulance parked outside. You were in our house. Hour and a half or so. You made all the phone calls that you had to do, including to our so-called crisis line. Then the hospital. Unnamed. Then the hospital. Then the room. Then the man that came in after 2 hours. Tiny room. 4 lights in the ceiling. Strip of alarms all the way round so that, you know, we all know, don't we, that all the loopies will go in there. They'll all be wanting a fight with this man. They'll all be wanting a fight. They'll all be absolutely mega high, and because they're loopy, because they're loopy, because they're loonies. And I think this man, who was supposed to be helping, came in expecting a fight with a loony. Ramped the lights up completely. My wife sat there, her head buried in her hands. And this guy said, look, I've got to be firm. Don't you dare speak to somebody in that position, who's actually in that crisis. Don't you dare do that. Listen, mate. Yeah, complaints are going in. You shouldn't even be doing that job. I love the NHS. The NHS saved my life. The NHS, even before we got to that hospital, were doing all they could to save the life of my wife. You should not even be doing that job. You made the situation worse. You talked to my wife like she was a child. She was hypomanic. She was very upset. She was physically pacing up and down that room before you even looked through the door. And you began by saying, oh, haven't I met you somewhere before? You're useless. You're appalling at your job. Yeah? And what did we leave with? What I knew we would leave with. What even my GP, who's back onto the situation with my wife now, getting near the end, who's back onto the situation with my wife, knew would happen. Diazepam, send them home. Appalling. If you are treated by or have anything to do with NHS Mental Health Services, if you are my MP, Brandon Lewis, listening, this was appalling. I'm angry. Even the GP said, that's what happens to my patients who come back to me when they're in crisis. It's what happens all the time. Yeah? Useless. Appalling. The man should be up on a disciplinary. His work should be reviewed. That's it, folks. I'm angry. My wife is out with her friends. Please, I haven't mentioned any names. Not even hospitals. No names. Yeah? So, yeah, the complaints in at the highest level. If that's happened to you, get your complaint in at the highest level now. Take care, folks. Please circulate this video. Bye.